Okay, so there's two things that we need to do. The first one is getting the right amount of tape. The second one is alignment. So let's talk about tape first. So this is carpet tape. This is just a standard carpet tape from Home Depot. It's fairly thin. It's fairly sticky. It's sticky on both sides. So we're going to mount this piece to the table like this. We need to mount it to the same spot. So we're going to use parallel bars, one here and one here, that lets us put this in exactly the same spot every time we mount it, but also gives us clearance so that we have room to cut around it if we need to. In order to mount this, we're going to use about 20 inches of tape. If you use 6 inches of tape, that's not enough. If you use 20 inches, that does seem like it's enough, so that's basically what we're going to do. So you want to be careful when you put the tape down not to have any bubbles, and you don't want the tape to stick out on any of the edges you're going to align with. So in our case, we're going to align to this edge and this edge, which means that we want to make sure our tape doesn't stick out on this edge or this edge, otherwise it will affect our alignment. So, and since we're going to flip it over like that, that means this edge and this edge are the ones we're going to keep clean. Okay. So in order to keep bubbles out, you don't just attach the tape straight down. You want to hold it at an angle and squeegee it down, basically. We'll cut it off. That. And we'll do the same thing for the next piece. It's okay. I kind of like to leave the tape sticking out a little bit. A little bit of overhang seems to be good because it gives you something to grab if you have trouble getting the tape off later. Alright. You'll see a few bubbles. That's not actually the tape, that's actually the wax paper backing on it. So when we pull the wax paper off, it's going to look good. Double stick tape is a little hard to remove, so the best way I found to do it is to leave a little bit of overhang, fold it back, and the wax paper is a little stiffer than the tape itself, so you can usually just kind of peel it off and that lets you get that off. It might take a couple tries. So do that. This isn't perfect, but it's okay. And so here, this is the edge we're going to use for alignment. So I'll put it down like that, and that edge will be there. We have our block. It's taped. It's ready to stick down. I vacuumed and cleaned off the board where we're going to put this piece so that it's clean, except for these sticky notes. Okay. Now the way that we're doing this today is we're aligning to this edge that I've pre-cut to be square to the x-axis, or parallel to the x-axis, and this edge which I've just cut to be parallel to the y-axis. So now when I take my part, again the edge I'm going to align with, it's square to both axes. Because I used 1 inch parallels, I can repeatedly get to this point every time I do it. You need to press it down real good so the tape will hold it. Using the parallels lets me have a consistent point of alignment, so I can pull those up and drop it down and come back to the same spot. If I'm cutting multiples of the same part, I can easily put multiples of the same part down. But also, a lot of times when you're cutting a part, the CNC needs some access to the outside of it. If I put it right up against the material, against this stop, I would be cutting into the stop during some of those cuts, and I don't want to do that. So.